This is Transport96 here with another video review. This time it's going to be kind of a double video, bit of a comparison between the Captain America Civil War Marvel Legends Mark 46 Iron Man from the Giant Man Build-A-Figure wave, as well as the Mark 46 Iron Man that's battle damage from the Civil War 3-pack with Captain America and Spider-Man. Obviously that last figure came in a 3-pack. I'm going to be reviewing each of those figures separately, so Spider-Man will get his own review. Captain America will get a comparison just like this. And in this video, I'm doing the comparison with that Iron Man. So this review is just going to be for those two Iron Man figures. I do have a custom kind of Tony Stark figure here using an accessory that came with one of these Iron Man. And I'm going to talk about that accessory, not going to really talk about Tony Stark, though, that figure there. So this is mainly a review of the two specific Iron Man figures. So I never did get a chance to review the Mark 46 or Captain America from the Giant Man wave. So that's why I thought it would be perfect time to do kind of like a double review, basically, considering they are almost identical, just with some slight paint differences and different accessories. So let's get started on it. Let's talk about the Mark 46s. Alright, so going over the Mark 46, talking about the regular one from the Giant Man wave that comes single-carded. As you can see, it's actually really nice. I really do like this armor. In the movie, it's nice, but the figure really represents it extremely well, and I'm very happy with it. The head sculpt looks quite good. You've got kind of the bit of an ear, kind of sections that are kind of like vents on the side of his face, give his head a bit more bulk, which I do like, and it is quite accurate to the actual film. His neck is pretty bulky, I would say, in this armor. That's a new thing specific to the Mark 46, which I think does look quite nice. You've got the chest there, which looks good, and then the kind of the arc reactor. A lot of kind of paneling going on, which I do like a lot. Very sharp paneling, especially in the torso, which I think looks quite good. And then you have more rounded sections on the arms here, which do look rather nice. Let's take a look. As you can see, looking quite good. And then the paint on these guys is pretty decent. For the regular edition, it is quite a it's more of a glossy red, and it's a pretty bright glossy red, along with some really nice shiny gold and silver. And then with the 3-pack one, it's more of a matte red that has a bit of a glossiness to it. It has a bit of a sheen, but it's more of a flat red. And then it has, again, the pretty shiny gold and silver. And then, of course, the battle damage one has, well, you guessed it, battle damage, which I think is quite nice. It's all just painted, no sculpted battle damage, which is a shame, but the paint is done really nicely. Like, I really love the paint. It's a very, kind of have like a dark wash to it, and then they add some silver on top of the armor, which just looks wonderful. And you've got some scrapes on the shoulder pad, which looks awesome. And the face, really love that half the face is like burnt and scraped and everything. It looks great. It's just, it's really not fully committed to, you know, because you have the top section, which has a nice amount of battle damage to it, and then you just have a piece on the thigh, and that's it. Really wish that the battle damage was throughout the armor, and it didn't just feel like a couple key areas. So that's a huge disappointment to me. Would love the entire thing to be battle damaged, and that would have looked really great and really nice. So unfortunately, that's not the case. Before I end it with the accessories, let's talk about the articulation. Articulation is pretty good on this figure. It is hindered in a few places, but it really excels in some others. He's got a ball hinge neck, which can look up very far, good for flight poses. Can look down extremely far as well. Can't really look down that far though if you want him to look to the side as well, due to the kind of shoulder paneling. Then he has ball hinge shoulders, which go out about that far, have full range though. Bicep swivel, double hinge elbows, hinge swivel wrist, and then this even in repulsor blast poses, the little kind of arm guards or the hand guards, they kind of just slip inside so that there's no, they don't really hinder that hinge, which is good. Ball joint upper torso, which can move back quite far, and then, you know, combined with that up head movement, you can get some nice flying poses. Can crunch decent amount, and then side to side completely. The thighs are where it's hindered. It can go out this far, and it can go to the side this far. It doesn't go to the side very far at all, and it doesn't go out very far. And then, you know, when you try to swivel the bicep, it's very hard to get him in good poses, where he has like a knee on the ground, and then he has a foot on the ground. It's very hard to get him in those classic Iron Man poses, which is definitely a shame, and wish that they could have fixed that. Although I don't necessarily see how they could have easily fixed it. Obviously, they could could add some moving panels and stuff, but I don't expect Hasbro to do that, you know, for the price of these. So, you know, I'm not 100% sure how they could have fixed it, but I really wish that that it was fixed a bit. You've got double hinge knees, which work very nicely, full double hinge as you can see, and then hinge pivoting ankles. The pivot works very nicely. So articulation on these guys is pretty standard for Marvel Legends, except it's a bit more hindered than usual at the thighs, which is definitely disappointing. So now let's go over the accessories of these figures. Alright, so you get multiple accessories with both of these, which is really great. With the single carded one, you're going to get 2 repulsor blasts. The repulsor blasts are a light blue, but they have some white washed into them, especially towards the actual blast place of the blast effects, which looks quite nice. Those peg into the hands or feet, and then he comes with 2 interchangeable repulsor blast, sculpted hands. The battle damage one comes with no extra hands. He just has the repulsor blast hands, and then he comes with 4 repulsor blasts. He comes with 2 blue ones. They are translucent blue, but they're a darker blue, and there's no white paint wash like the single carded one. And then he comes with 2 yellowish ones that have some orange done at the ends, meant for being more of the fire from his heels. I feel like having if you put on all 4 repulsor blasts on his hands and on his feet, I think that it looks cooler if they're all blue. They're all the same color. Obviously, you do need to buy both of these figures to do that, where you have an all blue look. However, I think that just kind of looks cooler in my opinion. But I really love these repulsor blasts. It was a great way to make this Iron Man figure feel fresh, considering we've seen so many Iron Man figures. This is of course an entirely new sculpt, which is great. But it is another Iron Man, and it's another movie Iron Man. So this was a great, very smart way to make it more interesting and feel a bit more than your regular Iron Man that you have 50 of, basically. The 3-pack battle damage one also comes with the Tony Stark head sculpt. I'll talk about that at the very end here, though. Let's try out some of these repulsor blasts. Just because I had the repulsor hands on the battle damage version, we'll use him. See, and there you go, you kind of just have to fit that panel in there to get him to, have his repulsor blasts extended out. I like these blue ones. Alright, so they just peg right into the hands. As you can see, looks quite nice for stabilizing himself or for actually shooting a repulsor, which I think is just awesome. Very cool, like that a lot. And then he has the holes in his heels. Again, to get it all blue, you're going to need both of these figures. Otherwise, and if you only buy the single carded one, you can't do all 4. You can only have it on his hands or on his legs, basically. Let's see if you can get a bit of a view there. As you can see, like he's flying and shooting at the same time. Very cool. Love these repulsor blasts. I think that they just look awesome. They also look really cool as like a laser shots. I've used them for other pictures and things, and they come in handy so much, and they're super fun with the Iron Man figures, and they really help elevate the figures and make them super fun, and just they add so many more poses, which is really fantastic. And then quickly, if you wanted to see the orange blasts on him. There you go. See, that looks nice, but I think that it just looks better if they're all the, unified color. Like, if they made 2 more orange ones, that would still look good. But to have them all to be one color, I think looks the best. But overall, really nice. Do like that quite a bit. So the accessories with these guys, with the normal release, you do get quite a lot. You get 2 repulsor blasts. They could have just given you 1, but they give you 2, which is awesome. And with the 3-pack version, to get 4 repulsor blasts is really special, something I wouldn't have expected, and I'm super happy about it. I absolutely love that. Let's finish off the review with the main accessory that I think a lot of people are going to want, which is that Tony Stark head sculpt. Alright, so I believe this is the first Hasbro Tony Stark head sculpt from a movie for their Marvel Legends line. Something tells me in the past they've done an exclusive one, but I think that was 3¼ inch. So I think this is the first head sculpt for Tony Stark that we actually have. We of course have what came with the Mark 43, which was the Tony Stark head sculpt inside an Iron Man helmet, but none that is just a complete head sculpt of his without any armor on it, which does look very nice. I think the head sculpt itself is pretty decent. It actually, it resembles him, if nothing more than just the facial hair, you know. I think that they've done the facial hair and his actual hair quite nicely, and obviously it can resemble him on certain angles, like right there. I mean, that looks pretty good. For the scale, I think it is actually really quite good. It's not amazing, it's not fantastic, it's not perfect, but I think that it's really quite suitable and it does look good. The one issue on mine specifically is on his cheek there. There is a bit of a plastic kind of little kind of hanging piece. It's just a little smudge there. Doesn't look great. It does really blend into his neck though, so when you're not looking at it through, you know, a camera that's really close on the figure, it's really not noticeable, which is nice. But it would have been great if that wasn't the issue, if that wasn't the case. But really do like this head sculpt. It works nicely on an Iron Man figure. Let me show you that. And it works nicely on a suited figure. If you have Coulson or trying to think if there's any others. I guess not. I guess it's just kind of Coulson and, well, there's Purple Man too, but then that's like a purple suit. But what I have him on and what I think he works the best on is a chameleon body. Let's see if it's gonna focus. I really can't get it to focus. There we go. So as you can see, here it is on an Iron Man body. It looks very small, but obviously he's got like a suit of armor on, so his head should look a bit small. So maybe it's accurate, but it just looks weird to me. It doesn't look quite right. It definitely looks off. Let me just try to give you a better angle. Yeah, that just looks strange, you know, that doesn't fit. But I think that it's a cool idea. So you know, if I didn't have a suited body, I might be disappointed that it didn't look too good on an Iron Man figure. However, I'd much prefer just to have a Tony Stark figure, you know, separate from an Iron Man figure, which I'm able to do now, which is great. I'm really happy that it is the same size ball joint, and I think that it works nicely in this kind of bluish suit. I think it's pretty perfect for Tony Stark. To focus on him now, yeah, and I think that it just looks quite excellent. So if you have the chameleon figure, I would definitely recommend giving this a shot, even just for some pictures. But I think that I'm going to actually leave him like this permanently. As much as I like the chameleon Hammerhead and JJ looks that chameleon figure brings, I still think that the movie Tony Stark is the best out of those. So I might have to buy a few more chameleons to give them the other looks, because those are so nice. But I think that this one really excels. So overall, very happy with both of these Iron Man figures. And if you have the original Iron Man that came with the Giant Man set, buying this 3-pack, which will come with Captain America and Spider-Man, isn't a bad deal, because they obviously could have just repacked it and given you the same accessories and called it a day. They did go a little bit above and beyond by actually painting battle damage, which gives it a completely new look, and then giving you 4 blast accessories and then a Tony Stark head sculpt. I think that the accessories that you get with Iron Man are really great. With Captain America, you really don't get too much new stuff, so that's not his new accessories for this pack aren't really worth it. But for the Iron Man, he actually comes with enough new things that it really makes his figure quite fresh, and it's kind of worth it, I would say, even if you have the original one already. But there you go. That's my review / comparison of the Mark 46 from the Giant Man single card wave, and in the 3-pack, which came with the movie Civil War, Spider-Man, and Captain America. Thanks so much for watching, and let me know what you guys think of these figures.